Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I've never done this before, but I'm a little excited about it. We are doing my very first tier list. And today we're talking about film stocks. We're going to be ranking them using a regular tier maker, S to D. You understand how it works. Now, mind you, there's going to be some omissions because I haven't shot every film stock under the sun. There might be some in there that you're like, how the hell haven't you shot that yet? And I don't know what to tell you. We're going to rank the ones that I have shot. And without further ado, you understand how rankings work. Let's get into it. Okay, up first, we've got Ilford HP5 Plus. I have a video on my channel about this film stock. I feel like I don't need to say much about it, and I'm just going to put it up in the S row. It is just one of the most versatile black and white film stocks out there. Ilford is such an incredible company, and yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, up next we have Kodak Colorplus. Now, I absolutely adore this film stock. I use it all the time. It is one of the cheaper color film stocks out there. Definitely one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest, that Kodak offers. But it also gives you incredible results. Pretty minimal grain. I mean, it's there, but really punchy colors, really high contrast. I'm putting it in my S tier just because I shoot it all the time, and it's one of my go-tos. Finally, we get a little variety. We have Lomo Metropolis, which I am not a fan of. I don't know that I would go so far as to put it in the D tier. I've only shot one roll of it and knew immediately that it wasn't for me. I mean, maybe if I was doing something stylized to be in this kind of color palette, then maybe I would. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Lomo Metropolis, so we're going to put that right in the C tier. All right, up next, we've got Fujicolor 200. Now, I'm a big Fuji fan. Kind of wish they were still around a little bit more than they are. I wish they dipped their toe in the film world a little bit again. But anyway, Fujicolor 200, I've shot a lot of this stuff. I've got some of my favorite photos that I've ever taken on this stuff. I don't know that I could say I put it in the S tier. Maybe because of how kind of widely unavailable it is nowadays. I feel like I can never find it. I'm going to put it in the A tier. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. All right, up next we've got a twofer. We've got ORWO NC400 and ORWO NC500. Now, I did make a video about both of these, and you can go check that out. But I gotta say I'm probably going to put them in the C. Both of them, they're pretty comparable, both of them. So I'm going to put them in the C tier. Wasn't a huge fan of them. They're super grainy, super contrasty, and not really in a fun way. Again, sort of like Lomo Metropolis. I might use it if that was the look I was going for, but generally speaking, it's not the look that I'm going for. Okay, up next we've got Cinestill. We've got a couple Cinestills, and I've got my opinions on all of them. I'm going to actually start with 50D. Now, 50D, I was not a huge fan of. I shot it one time when I was in California in direct sunlight, and I don't know, I don't remember really liking it all that much. I'll put up some images throughout this whole video. I'm putting it in the C, and I'm actually going to put 400D also in there. The D for dynamic, D for did not like it. Maybe I should put it in the D tier. No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I don't know. The roll of 400D that I shot, I don't remember really vibing with. I know I shot it around the winter time. I remember because it was Christmas. Cinestill in general, they're a hot button issue these days, but regardless of all of that, yeah, I don't know. 400D didn't do it for me, but 800T, I gotta say, I'm gonna put it in the B tier. It's definitely a cut above those other two, and I have taken some really nice photos with it, so that's why it's gonna go in the B tier. But that being said, it's black and white film stock. I shot it once, never shot it again. It's also expensive. That's another thing that is probably bumping these guys down. It's just that these guys are expensive, you know, scandal noted. I'm not going to really touch the scandal going on with Cinestill. If you know, you know. All right, up next, we're going to do Fomapan. I believe this is Fomapan 400. I've only shot one roll of this. I liked it. When it comes to black and white film stocks, I don't talk about them a whole lot, and I generally find that when people are comparing black and white film stocks, it's kind of like comparing apples to apples a little bit. A lot of them are really similar. Like, you could show me any black and white photo and tell me it was shot on Tri-X, and I would believe you. You know, I don't know. Fomapan, I remember not jumping for joy over it. There is one coming up that I did jump for joy over. We'll get to that in a minute. But Fomapan, it's going to sit right in the middle, and it's going to be in the B tier. All right, up next, we've got Harman Phoenix 200, and it's going in the S tier. This might surprise some of you. It's a symbolic gesture because I absolutely adore what Harman is doing with Phoenix. The fact that we're getting a brand new color film stock that is being made from emulsion to cassette is incredible. It is unheard of. It's, you know, it's 2024 now, and the fact that a company is out there making a brand new film stock that isn't Kodak or any of the other, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 other people in the world that are making color film is pretty incredible. So I'm putting them in the S tier. If you haven't shot Harman Phoenix already, yes, it's grainy. Yes, it's still in its beta stage. Yes, it's contrasty, but please go support them because we need more companies to do things like this. And if they're the ones who have the means to do it, let's make sure that they can continue doing it. It's going in the S tier. Okay, now Ilford FP4 Plus. Kind of what I said before about black and white film stocks being kind of like comparing apples to apples. I will say, if I put Fomapan in B, I would say FP4 is a cut above Fomapan. I'm putting it in the A tier. I'm going to show you some sample images of all of this stuff. I remember liking it a lot when I saw it. So it's going in the A tier. All right, up next, this one is going to be a bit of a shock, maybe for some of you, considering how much I disliked Lomo Metropolis. We're going to talk about Lomo 800. I shot Lomo 800. I think I shot 3 rolls of it. I got like a 3-roll pack, and I shot 1 roll when I was in Ohio on a job, and I was absolutely floored by the images that I got. Surprisingly low grain and really nice contrast, or at least, and also very vibrant saturation. That was the thing that really stood out to me with Lomo 800 was the saturation. And if you watch the channel, you know that I'm of the belief that if you're going to shoot color film, you should make it count. So it should be vibrant. It should be saturated, in my opinion. So I'm putting this in the A tier, and it's also the only Lomo film stock other than the more experimental ones that I've actually shot. I've never actually shot any of the others. I think there's like Lomo 100 or 200, you know, whatever. I haven't shot those, but I have shot 800, and I was a huge fan of it. Okay, I told you there was a black and white film stock that I adored, and it was one that I shot fairly recently, and that is Fuji Neopan Acros 102, and it's going in the S tier. I don't know what it is about this film stock. I don't know how they make it, but I remember being floored, absolutely blown away by the low grain, the medium contrast, and I remember I made a video about it, and one of the crazy things was that its reciprocity was, I'm not sure the terminology, but it was super low, high. Essentially, you don't reach reciprocity failure nearly as quickly as you do on a lot of other black and white or color film stocks. So for those reasons, and because of these beautiful images that you're probably seeing on your screen right now, I'm putting it in the S tier. Also, just because I can't have Ilford HP5 be the only black and white film stock in the S tier, I'm not sure what else is going to be in there, but Fuji Neopan Acros 102, it's a mouthful, but it is a delightful mouthful. All right, moving on. We've got Ilford XP2, 400 speed film stock, and black and white film is tricky to talk about, but I'm putting it in the A tier. I'm sort of using Fomapan right now as like a base level, as sort of just like did I enjoy it more or less than Fomapan? And I look back at my images from Ilford XP2, and I gotta say that I enjoyed them quite a bit more. For a 400 speed film, very low grain, and really nice, pleasing contrast, and yeah, so it's going in the A tier. Okay, so a company that I don't hear talked about all that often is Arista, and I don't know if there's some sort of subsidiary of another larger company. I'm not really sure where they're getting their film stock. They might just be getting it from Kodak for all I know. But Arista EDU Ultra, their sort of Arista EDU line, your 100, your 200, and your 400, I really, really enjoy, and I haven't shot a ton of 100, but I do know that it's going in the A tier. And from here on, with Arista, basically what you get is the more sensitive your film becomes, the grainier it becomes. And with black and white film, grain is really not really what I want. And for some reason, it just gets exponentially worse with their Arista stuff. So I'm going to put 200 at B and then 400. C seems a little low. I'm going to put 400 in B also, just because I feel like lumping that in with all these other ones feels a little harsh. So I'm going to not do that. All right, up next, we've got the Kentmere films. We've got 100 and 400. 100, I'm putting in the A tier. I've shot a lot of Kentmere. Oh, sorry, that was 400. I've shot a lot of 100, and I'm a huge fan of it. One of my favorite photos from last year, which you may have seen in my Best of 2023 video, was shot on Kentmere 100 in 120 format. And I just absolutely adored it. For sort of a budget-friendly black and white film stock, it really has all of the trappings that you would see in something like Ilford HP5, something that's like super reliable. I mean, it's made by Ilford, so let's not beat around the bush. It is made by the same company that makes HP5. Realistically, for the money that you're saving, you're getting the same stuff that you would get in the pricier options. So Kentmere 100 is going in A tier, 400 is going in B tier, if only because you're getting a little bit of that extra grain that is not so desirable. Up next, we've got Portra 400. Now, I haven't shot a lot of Portra 400. I feel like I'm not as much of a fanboy for the Portra stuff as a lot of other people are. That being said, I'm going to make a bold move, and I'm going to put it in the S tier. Just because I personally haven't shot a lot of it doesn't mean that what I have shot hasn't impressed me. It definitely is something that I want to shoot a lot more of. Portra is a pretty beloved film stock. I feel like I can never find any of it because it's selling out in a heartbeat. I'm also going to put, this is technically not the same one, but Portra 160 is also going up there for the same reasons. I've been shooting some expired Portra 160 NC, which has been kind of blowing my mind. And the fact that it's expired and it has stood the test of time is pretty incredible. So that's also going in the S tier. I have a bunch of rolls. If you're following my expired film series, you'll be seeing a lot of that footage. I am very much looking forward to shoot the rest of the 160 that I do have. I think I have maybe 6 more rolls left to shoot of it, and so far everything has been coming out great. And yeah, Portra is going in the S tier. Maybe not because of my personal feelings about it. I wouldn't say that I love it any more than some other S tier stuff, but it is a very beloved and versatile film stock that I think everyone should be aware of. So it's going in the S tier. Okay, this is a tough one for me because Kodak Ultramax is something that I shoot a lot, but I wouldn't say that I shoot it a lot because I want to. I shoot it a lot out of necessity. A lot of times it's the only thing available. Like a lot of you out there, I am trying to not stretch the budget whenever possible. So Kodak Ultramax is a tricky one because I like it for, what you get for your money is pretty good. The money is not a lot. It's going to go in the B tier, I think. I think it's going in B. It's perfectly fine. It's good in a pinch. You know what you're getting out of it. It's very consistent, but it's not really going to give you that wow factor. If there is a wow factor, it isn't because of the film. It's because of the photo that you're taking with it. So it's going in the B tier, perfectly middle of the road. Yeah, let's leave it at that. All right, here's a fun one. Lomo Purple. I kind of don't know where to put this. It's way better than Lomo Metropolis. Just in terms of like the fun factor. So it's already going to be in B tier. But I also feel like I kind of want to put it in A just because I remember seeing the scans for the first time and being like, oh, shit, that like actually worked. There's something really fun about seeing your scans, seeing your film of Lomo Purple. It's going in the A tier just because like part of shooting film is the fun of it, and I don't really know when I've shot a lot of this other stuff the times where I've felt that rush or like felt like that like ooh, like oh, that's so cool, I don't get a lot of that with a lot of this other stuff. Maybe the first time I shot Cinestill, I thought that was really, really rad, but since it's kind of like lost its luster. But shooting Lomo Purple was a pretty fun experience, so it's going in the A tier. I think that everyone should shoot at least one roll of Lomo Purple in their lifetime. Okay, now we've got Kodak Gold. I've been shooting a lot of Kodak Gold in 120 in the Mamiya RB67 that I have behind me. I haven't shot a lot of it in 35, but I will say the stuff that I've been shooting has been some of my favorite stuff I've shot in a long time. I think it's due to it being Kodak Gold. I will say I have Kodak Colorplus in the S tier, and a lot of people say that Colorplus might just be differently packaged Kodak Gold, like they have a very similar vibe to them. So based on that alone, it's going in the S tier. I'm looking at this S tier, and it's looking a little basic. Like I do feel like, but there's some precedent to it. I mean, like a lot of this stuff is very popular and for good reason. Okay, here's a fun one. Rollei RPX 400. I think I've only shot 1 or 2 rolls of this. It's on the cheaper end of your black and white film stocks. I want to say that I like it more than Fomapan and some of these Arista stuff. I was looking back at some of the stuff I shot on it, and there are some photos in that collection that are some of my favorites that I've taken in black and white. Yeah, this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna put it in the A tier. It's super cheap, and you know what you're gonna get. I remember kind of being shocked at the low grain for it being a 400 speed black and white film stock, but that could just be my memory messing with me because a lot of black and white stuff looks exactly the same to me. Speaking of which, Kodak Tri-X, 99% sure I've shot this before, and I was looking at some of my scans that I labeled Tri-X, but then I was like, was this actually Tri-X, or did I just label it that? Was it actually TMax, and I just labeled it wrong? Who knows? We're going to put this in the B tier because I'm 99% sure that I shot Tri-X, but I'm not entirely certain that the photos that I looked at were actually Tri-X. And while we're here, let's just talk about TMax. TMax 100 also going in the B tier. No, okay, we're gonna. I heard everyone kind of groaning, so we're gonna put that in the A tier. That being said, TMax P3200. I have shot this. I shot this when I was in San Diego in the brightest sunlight I've ever been in. And the photos that I got were incredibly grainy. I was shooting at one 1,000th of a second the entire time I was there. I'm putting this in the D tier just because I was super disappointed when I got this roll back. I was in San Diego. It was like the only time in my life that I was going to be in San Diego. And yeah, I was super disappointed that this roll came out super grainy. I mean, look at all these photos. It's just super grainy. And last but not least, we have Fuji Superia Extra 400. This one's tricky. Back when it was a little bit more readily available, so it was one of the main film stocks that I would shoot. I guess you could still get a lot of it on Amazon. I'm pretty sure that Fuji has discontinued the Superia line. I could be getting that wrong, but I remember reading something somewhere to that effect. And it's such a bummer because Fuji Superia is kind of like a staple. It's kind of like an Ultramax, which makes me kind of want to put it in the B tier. But I will say, looking back at a lot of my photos, I've gotten some pretty incredible images out of Fuji Superia. I may have to put it in the A tier. This is giving me quite a dilemma because I feel like I kind of want to put it in the A tier right next to Fujicolor 200. But if anything, it's making me feel like I misplaced Fujicolor 200 because I know that the photos I've gotten out of that I like more than Superia. So we're putting Fujicolor 200 in the S tier. We're making that change right now. And with that, we have my tier list. These are all of the film stocks that I have used so far in my film photography journey. If we scroll down, we'll see a bunch of stuff that I haven't used. I've never used some of the other Fomapan stuff. Provia, Velvia, I did shoot those back in college, but I did not know what I was doing back then. I don't even have those scans. And they were also for like school projects, but those are also super difficult to get and super expensive nowadays. Fuji Pro 400H, I've never shot. Ilford, some of the Ilford Delta stuff, I thought I had shot, but I couldn't find any scans of mine to look over before making this list, so I didn't feel right including them. Kodak E100, and Ektar. Fun story about Ektar. I bought one roll of Ektar 100, and it was when I started this job that had me traveling around the country. I knew that I had to get my film hand checked. I knew that. So I get to the airport. It was like day one, first time ever flying out for a job. I get my film hand checked, and I never picked it up on the other side. I just never, I never got it from the TSA people. I tried getting it back, and that it was long gone. And so because of that, I've been scarred, and I've never shot Ektar 100. There's a lot of Lomo stuff that I haven't shot, and I'm not really itching to shoot, really. I've never shot Rollei infrared, though I would like to. Yeah, let's take another look at the tier list. This is what I got. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with. What are some of my hot takes that I might not know are hot takes? Does TMax P3200 really belong in the D tier? I don't know. The D tier was feeling a little bit lonely, so I felt like I had to put something in there. I maybe was a little harsh on the Cinestills. I mean, they're, for all intents and purposes, a pretty good company, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just don't sit right with me. I feel pretty good about this. I think I might try to shoot some of the stuff I haven't shot throughout the course of this year, and maybe make another tier list next year and see how it stacks up. Maybe my opinions will change. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, go comment down below. Let me know what you thought about my tier list, what you would change, what are some of your hot takes regarding film stocks, what tier would you put them in? Show me your tier list. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified when new videos are released. You can go to my print shop and buy some prints. You can help support the channel that way. You could also help support the channel by becoming a member for just a couple bucks a month. You can get some interesting perks. We're working on that, but you can get some perks by becoming a member to the channel. And with that, thank you for everyone who's been following along, and I'll see you next time.